So we're going to continue on with our expose on the information war that we are engaged in. And so this article is on how covert agents infiltrate the internet to manipulate, deceive, and to destroy reputations. And this was originally classified. They do dirty tricks. And this was released from the Joint Threat Research Intelligence Group. 4 classified documents were released from this group to the NSA, to the English-speaking Five Eyes Alliance, the mysterious Five Eyes Alliance. And it's talking about the art of deception, training for online covert operations. And you really need to be aware of these because it is across the internet. And they do set up honey traps and lure people into compromising situations, send out destructive viruses, and more. So they have an operational playbook. And if you notice by this particular slide, it was secret at one time. And it is infiltration operations, ruse operations, set piece operations, false flag operations, false rescue operations, disruption operations, and sting operations. And many of these, the point of them is to discredit a target. And how do you do that? You set up honey traps. You can change their photos on social networking sites, as Dr. Evil indicated. You can write a blog purporting to be one of their victims, and you can email or text their colleagues, neighbors, and friends. And once again, this was a top secret document. And there are also tactics that are used to destroy companies that the agencies want to target. And they can do that by leaking confidential information to companies via the press and blogs, post negative information on appropriate forums, and stop deals and ruin businesses. And once again, this was a top secret document. They can use information ops to either influence or disrupt. And the goal is to make it look like it is happening real time or in the cyber world. And there are 2 categories. There's information ops, which influence or disrupt, and there's technical disruptions like cutting your internet type thing or a denial of service. They are together known as online covert actions, and there's the 4 Ds. So there's deny, disrupt, degrade, and deceive. And once again, those are the 4 Ds: deny, disrupt, degrade, and deceive. This is a top secret government document. So here they're going to talk about online human intelligence, strategic influence, and disruption. So online human intelligence can be directed towards an individual, towards a group, or as a whole. And I think we saw that in the last 6 months. The influence and information ops uses psychology, deception, performance, and the media. The disruptions will include professionalism, elegance, creativity, and intuition. And I found this, the skills strand, very interesting. And it's talking about using magic techniques and experiments. And down here is like propaganda and branding and marketing. And so see how intricate this is and how layered and deep it is. The 10 levels of scams. There's just so much. There's mirroring and mimicry. So I would take a few moments when you look at this and just absorb what this is trying to inform you, because the Lord has revealed this to us so that we can make wise decisions. And here is a skill strand that is really interesting, and it's about influencing our behavior and our ethics and how they do that. You know, it starts with planning, then they have a strategy, then they have a campaign, and then they actually do the planned intervention, which is what I believe occurred with the coronavirus. Now we're going down here to the different disciplines that are involved in the deception, magic, and influence. And it would be anthropology, they're going to use psychology, they're going to use economics, including our belief systems and our religion. They will be weaponizing that. Biology, neuroscience, what did we just see with Dr. Evil? And evolutionary biology, which is the phylocode, political science, history, social networks, obedience, compliance, sociology, and they're basically going to game it. And so this is how they're going to do game it for deception. And they're going to grab and control your attention. And there's going to be repetition of the message. That's why we're getting flooded by coronavirus, wear your mask, social distance, all these different things. They are going to tackle our perception, interesting, mask again, and mimic. They're going to repackage. They're going to use dazzling and decoys to grab our attention, make the cue dynamic, stimulate multiple sensors. So they're going to stimulate multiple areas in our body. Sense making, exploit prior beliefs, present story fragments rather than the whole story. And what do we see during this whole corona debacle? Fragment, fragment, fragment. Repetition creates expectancies, and the haversack ruse, a piece of bad luck. They're going to swap the real for the false. Did you get that? They are going to swap the real for the false and vice versa. And they are going to affect your cognitive abilities, your ability to create. They're going to create stress. They're going to create psychological stress. And they're going to exploit every part of you being a human. Then they are going to go for, it's kind of like going for the juggler, your behavior. They're going to stimulate you to action in the way that they want to control you. They're going to stimulate the outcome so that you're going to be put through a chute, and you're not going to be able to pick your own outcome. It's already decided, or so they think. There's a time shift, perceived behavior, and divorce behavior from the outcome, so there's no consequences, and they are also going to channel behavior. So what did I say? Pushing you through the chute, and that creates tension. So we are over in the right-hand side, things that pull a group apart. So you are going to see a high emphasis on that. In contrast, we're seeing a lot about the global, being a global citizen, being, doing your global social justice or civic justice. So on the left-hand side, that's pulling together certain groups of people with certain ideologies. And they're trying to undermine certain people with certain ideologies and break those apart. Then there's other techniques, mirroring. So there's body language, language cues, expressions, and eye movements and emotions, and accommodation, speech patterns, language, and then mimicry, adopting social traits. So this is a pretty interesting article, but we're going to go over to the art of deception. I'm not trying to impress you, but I'm Batman. And if you believe that, I have a bridge to sell you. So here are the different disciplines that we just saw a few minutes ago and how they intersect with one another. And here we get a little more detailed about what it includes. And remember, it includes deception, magic, and influence, as well as neuroscience and religion. So what do they want to do? They want to build cyber magicians. This was a secret document. And here's the online covert action. And these are their magic techniques and their experimentations and what they're doing to all of us. We're kind of like the canvas, and they are using the brush and the colors and manipulating us. These are also some of the magic techniques and experiments that they're running. And this is the human science learning path. And see, they take each one of these into account. See, they've got it metric, scams and deception for 2 weeks, you know, that type of thing. Magicians, the military, and intelligence. So it's been done before in 1856, in 1940s, and 1950s. Dissimulation, hiding the real. So we've got masking things that mask. We've got repackaging. We've got dazzling, the shock and awe type thing. We've got mimicry, and that's what is technology trying to do? They are trying to biomimic what God has originally created. There's inventing and there's decoying, a simulation showing the false. There are psychological building blocks of deception. And once again, we start with grabbing our attention, then dealing with our perception. Does it make sense to us or doesn't? Does it resonate with us or not? Will it affect us? If it doesn't resonate with us, it's not going to affect us. But if it does resonate with us, it will impact our behavior. And this is what a map of technologies to message delivery. So on a personal level, we would get a phone call, a text. We might go to Facebook or Twitter. We might get, this is where the community starts. We get involved with web pages and blogs and our community actually. And then there's global, which is the news media and certain designees, supposedly trusted sources. So this right here, this moth, would be camouflage and mimicry. This is how magic was used in the past to grab people's attention. And I really don't know about the duck. They use our expectancy of what we're expecting or not expecting. And this is where they were gaming for deception. This was a really creepy picture, just really creepy. Imagine those ladies coming to town. So this is the second strand, the influence and information ops. 10 principles for influencing: the time principle, the need and greed principle, the deception principle, the dishonesty principle, the social compliance and authority principle. We're getting that loud and clear. The herd principle, we're kind of getting that loud and clear too. The distraction principle, we're getting that loud and clear. The consistency principle, that one. The reciprocal, I'll just say it that way, principle, and the flattery principle. We have seen all of these in the last 6 months in play, and we didn't need Coca-Cola. People make decisions as part of groups. People make decisions for emotional reasons and not rational ones. That's really important to protect your emotions. Station guards, and the best way to do that is through prayer and the Word of God. Passion, density, and empowerment. I wish I could have heard the talk about the UFOs. Yeah. We're not privy to that. So this is online human intelligence. Love those waves. So of course, what they do ask all the time is, can they game this? It's really kind of very sad. And I found this really interesting too. So right now we have our physiological needs. So we have food, warmth, water, rest. Safety needs has pretty much been stripped away from us. We do not have security and we do not have safety. And no, it does not come from the government. Belongingness and love needs intimate relationships and friends. So they've taken that away from us. Most of us have been socially distanced. There's toxic relationships. There's targeted individuals. There are many, many, many people that are not part of a group. And this is due to technology. So that's been destroyed. Esteem needs, prestige, and the feeling of accomplishment. Like how many Americans are and people around the world are out of work. They're kind of floundering. So this has been destroyed. And then self-actualization, achieving one's full potential and including creative activities. This has been destroyed because the rest of the foundation has been destroyed. So most people, when they were told to lock down, what happened is they got depressed, they drank a little bit, they watched TV, they did nothing constructive during their time. Those of us that were kind of prepared that something might happen were, to some degree, we were able to weather the storm better than the people that did not know that it was coming. And so it really boils down to who are you and really what do you believe? So then there's the disruption and computer network attack. How many of you have turned on your computer, found it was blocked, or disrupted to some degree, limited, delayed, very frustrating. And then we're back to the disruption operational playbook and this tension, and pulling apart certain groups of people while at the same time pushing certain groups of people together. And that is what we're seeing happen right now. And it was fully rolled out in 2013. And they are basically conjuring with information, which is witchcraft. And so I hope you found this interesting. It should give you some food for thought about the different operations. I will be continuing my coverage over the next week or two on the information war. Until the next time.